is Israel going to cut down on the cost of living? That is the big question on the minds of everybody who is living here as prices soar on everything from groceries to housing. And now Israel's Union of Chambers of Commerce has submitted an 8-point plan to the Minister of Finance that they say has all of the answers. Joining us now to break this plan down, because we certainly want to hear all about it, is Uriel Lin. He's the president of the Federation of Israeli Chambers of Commerce. Okay, so the cost of living has increased across the world, but in Israel, especially in places like Tel Aviv, where we are right now, it seems more out of control than ever. What would you say are the biggest culprits in terms of the high cost of living in this country? What is causing this?
Well, the problem is really that the government is not performing what a government should perform. As a matter of fact, there is a tendency in Israel to blame the public sector, which is nonsense. Because in the public sector, there is a competition. There is no item or product in which you do not have a severe competition. Now, I will start with the seaport. The seaport in Israel, to a great extent, it's a monopoly. And as a monopoly, they work inefficiently. As a matter of fact, they work in such a way that sometimes boats had to wait for a whole month to start really unloading. Now, we have all to understand the extent of Israeli imports is $85 billion US dollars. When you are working the seaport inefficiently, the cost is rising up. Because there is, you have to store the merchandise, and they have special levies they put on the product and so on and so on. And in addition to that, and this is really fantastic, the tax system is pushing up the cost. The tax system is built in such a way that if the cost of import is going up, you're paying more import duties. So I'm telling the Treasury, stop this nonsense. Right. If you see there is really a raise in the cost of freight, in the cost of the sea, whatever we are unloading, the cost of unloading the merchandise in the seas, don't put more import duties on imports.
Right, and the majority of what Israel receives in imports is coming via the sea or via air, right? Because we are essentially landlocked for the most part.
I'll give you one example. We are really placing import taxes, including value-added tax, on the total value of import, including all the expenses, to take it out of the port. Now, what I'm telling them, start charging import duties and FOB, the price of the merchandise at the port of exit, the port where they're really loading the merchandise. And then, in addition to that, we have municipality taxes, which is sometimes really going up according to a formula automatically. And this really encourages municipalities not to be efficient. And in addition to that, we talk about the electricity. Electricity is going up. Why? Because the Israeli Electric Company didn't really transfer in due time the stations that are today powered by coal to natural gas, and they are the owner of this Israeli Electric Company is the government. So the government is not doing what it should be doing.
You're talking about serious levels of inefficiency that need to be handled.
That's exactly.
So these are some of the main points of this 8-point plan, right?
There are, of course, many other aspects.
Can you kind of quickly tell me about some of those other aspects?
I'm saying, in addition to that, we, in the last year, imposed more taxes unnecessarily. Also the business sector and also the consumers, unnecessarily completely, because you cannot solve any problem by leaving taxes. The tax system cannot really solve any problem. We thought it did, and we raised the taxes on sweetened drinks and so on, which does not really achieve what you want to achieve, but it really raised the cost of living. And of course, as I said before, the very fact that the main thing, the seaport. The seaport, which work inefficiently, and the government has the power to investigate why, and we know why they're not doing that.
What about the housing market? Is any part of this plan aimed at the housing market and the sky-high cost of buying a home today?
Well, let's put it this way. We have, of course, a lot of import, as I said before, into Israel. And we have, of course, a lot of competition. And of course, there are some importers that are stronger and bigger than the others. It's unavoidable. But yet, we have no monopoly. There is a competition, and there is also competition in the networks and, of course, the department store that we have in Israel, being it food or non-food, there is, of course, a lot of competition.
Right.
So I, first of all, start by saying to the government, do your duty. Take care wherever you do have to take care, and wherever you have the obligation to take care. And this is, to me, it's the main line in fighting the cost of living in Israel.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you so much for joining us. I'm very interested to see how the new finance minister responds to this 8-point plan, because this is really the first time we're hearing something laid out, a clear breakdown of how to tackle this. We certainly have not seen that in any of the campaigns of any of the politicians over the course of the last 5 elections. So I'd like to thank you so much, Oriel Lin, for coming in and breaking that down.